From the outside, it's just a 2x2. You've seen hundreds of them. But this one, it's hiding something. I've figured out a way to stash 2 loot rooms and the TC completely out of sight, buried in the floor and hidden in the walls, all using a hidden gap exploit and a build method that's stupid easy to pull off. It's clean, it's secure, and it's going to change how you build your 2x2 forever. So one of my favorite things about this base design is that it takes advantage of terrain that is normally not utilized. By utilizing a low dip in the terrain like this, not only is it going to make our base harder to spot overall, it's going to hide what we're doing with the base. So first, you want to kind of get a lookout of what your terrain looks like. And we're going to start operating from this high point right here. So we can see we've got our lowest points over here, and we've got a nice high point over here. So we're going to take that, and we're going to place a couple foundations, just square foundations like so. That should be okay. Ideally, you want it a good amount of area above the ground, though. Next, we place these 2 half walls facing towards us. Very important. And then we're going to place a rug here and a rug here. Now, we're going to walk around the foundation a little bit. That's going to set our height. And then we're going to come against that wall. You want to make sure you're stepping on the foundation rug and you're against this wall. Once we place this first foundation, which you want to place it at about the same height of where we're at now, if not a little bit higher, we're going to go ahead and place that and then not hit W or S and not move our mouse. From here, we're just going to come to this side here. We're going to come back against the rug and we're going to press our mouse again. If done correctly, you should have a gap between them like so, and you should have a gap like so. Now, just to show that it can be done very quickly, very easily, there's no gimmicks here. This is a foolproof method to get this down very quickly. I think I actually moved my mouse. So we're just gonna place that down. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna place that down. Very, very easy, very replicable. So once you have that, we can destroy those foundations and pick up the rugs if you want. Then you're going to want to look and make sure that you have good terrain. Now, I think I'm actually a little too far into this high ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a square specifically to this triangle. And I'm going to attach a square specifically to this triangle. And you do that by just kind of slowly moving over. And then I'm going to break both of these triangles. You can also get rid of these half walls. Now we've got a square that is low and a square that is high. Very important to keep these in mind because that is obviously going to help determine a lot of things. Then we're going to take a triangle, a square, and a square. Now again, we've got a low point and a high point, right? You always want to keep that in mind. Do not mix up your low point and high point. Very, very handy. Now it should be that one side is entirely high and one side is entirely low. From this point, we can kind of look at which side we want to be our front door. Now, what makes a good front door is being low ground and cover, but also having basically a full, what do I call it? Full foundation of clearance. We're just gonna go around, and actually all of these look like good perspective sides, except maybe here, but that's okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick the side with the low foundation. We want to make sure we're operating on low foundation. And we also want to make sure it's a good height for that jump up. Now, I really like this spot. I think this is a good front door, so we're going to operate with this as my front door. We're going to place this triangle here by connecting to my low foundation. And then we're just going to come around with low walls like that. Additionally, we want to come over here because once we've picked our front, we've also picked where our TC is going to go. So our TC has to go here now, right? So we're just going to put our TC on this foundation. Go ahead and upgrade that. And we're also going to seal it in with us. Just like so. And then we can come around like this. Come around like this. You can place this floor piece here and this floor piece here. But you have to make sure this one connects to this half wall. Now, if done correctly, I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. we can then upgrade these. But before we do that, we want to make sure that there's a gap. It is really hard to see with twig. In fact, maybe even impossible. But when upgraded to wood, you can see that gap pretty clearly. So with that done, we can upgrade everything else on this base as it currently is. Which is obviously important because you are going to want to make sure that you can seal yourself up so you're not getting instantly raided. Now, just for the sake of camera POV, I'm going to leave the roof open for now. So if I do decide to use that upper aerial footage. And then we're also going to add this. Now, if you are filling in your roof, it's going to be everything except for this triangle. This triangle has to stay open. All right. Now we can work on the interior because we've got our outside mostly secure. Let's start with this TC. So I am going to add this just for show. And we're going to come over to the high side. So again, you can kind of look and you can see which is high and which is low. And we're going to build off of the high side. And then we're going to connect to the high side like so. And then we're going to place a wall. You should then be able to break this floor and upgrade this. This is going to give you a little bit of a gap right here, and you'll be able to see that you've done it correctly. Otherwise, you can still destroy that wall and replace it. But basically right now, you have a fully sealed in and protected TC that nobody is going to guess where it is. From here, we're just going to place a floor piece here. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to place a floor piece here. And you'll notice the walls I'm looking at when I'm placing these. And those are very important because those are going to create our gap right here. Again, it's a lot easier to come underneath and see that you've got that gap. From here, we can upgrade this and we can actually completely seal in underneath here. This is going to give us a little bit more security in this back room. And then, of course, we're just going to fill out kind of like a normal 2x2. So obviously, this is not the standard 2x2 loot room, but this is my preferred loot room because if you're going to do this instead of the standard shelf design, which I guess I'll just show you guys the shelf design. The normal shelf design does work. It's fine. You can still build it. You can still use it. I just personally prefer the other kind of storage room. And I guess since both rooms are essentially storage rooms, may as well show you both. And they both fit the same. It is the same amount of storage. You can fit a couple extra small boxes on these shelves, but you can also fit a couple extra large bamboo boxes in that room. So, you know, it's pick and choose your poison. So this is your standard room, still plenty of room to actually access the gap, which I guess I should show you. If we come down here, our first gap, we're gonna place large box, small box, large box. For these, absolutely don't use skins. Skins are too easy to see. And then you should also lock every single box. Locking the box is just gonna make it so that they don't get the loot even if you get raided. Next, you can just come along here and you can kind of see we've got that open symbol. We can access them super, super, super easy. If you notice you can't access the boxes, all you gotta do is you gotta come into your console and you're gonna type look and you'll see client.lookAtRadius. Change that to 0.01 and basically anything your crosshairs on, you can instantly access those loot. Now that we've got that done, we can actually seal that completely. We don't need in that room and neither do the raiders. Coming over here, we're gonna do the exact same thing. So we're just gonna place a box here. And you want to make sure you can still place this small wall. We're going to go back just a little bit further. Perfect. And we'll do another one right here. And we can place this wall. Now we can, of course, also upgrade these floor pieces. And we see our gap right there. Now, one thing to note with this, the regular stone skin is really hard to get that gap. But Adobe and some other building skins are so much easier. So if you do have trouble looting those boxes, it might be worth switching the skin around. And you notice this drop area right here. Obviously, this is not ideal, but what this does do is give us a perfect spot for some furnaces. Here, let's start right here, back corner, and then back corner. and then back corner. For this over here, we're gonna just now add in a half wall like so. And we're gonna put a little jump up here. This is gonna be our jump up for later on in the base design. We're gonna add our doorway. And underneath here, there's a few different things you could do. I like to put a barrel. You can put shotgun traps, but that barrel is gonna look like it's my depot option. So everyone's gonna assume that's my quick depot, rather than seeing that I've got my quick depot under the ground. This is gonna be my jump up for roof access later, or if I do want to expand. And then we're gonna come back over here. Now, obviously, we still don't have access to our TC, not quite yet anyway. I'm gonna put a barrel here just because I can. And we're gonna do a triangle frame like this, upgrade that to stone. And then we can come downstairs here and we can put in some boxes. So again, boxes will fit. You're gonna get a lot more storage if you use barrels, just because they're a little smaller, a little pay to win, but very easy to fit all this. Once you've got that all situated, you've now got 3 extra large boxes and a small right there. We're then, of course, gonna add your tier 2 to the back wall, which can fit 2 small boxes underneath. Next, we're just gonna add this box down here. This is actually mostly just for logging out purposes. And there, we're good to go. Now, you got plenty of room for bags over in these spots here, in my opinion, which is why I prefer this loot room, because you obviously can't put a bag in here. So I would do 2 of these if you do have the DLCs. Alternatively, salvage shelves are really good, definitely worth using. Now, for accessing your TC, you're gonna wanna get yourself a siren light, and we're just gonna pick up this box here and place the siren light somewhere like that. That should get you the perfect height to access your TC whenever you need. And then all you gotta do is pick up that siren light, put that box down, and they can't see the TC. From this height, they literally can't see that it's there, and it looks like it's just a difference between the foundation and the wall.